All right, let's dive into the one thing, the one powerful ingredient that really separates ambition from actual achievement. It's a force that seems so simple, but it's the invisible engine behind pretty much every great success story. Let's get into it.
So let's start with a big question, right? You and I both know people who have huge dreams, big ambitions. But why is it that some of them actually get to where they want to go, while so many others just don't? What is the secret ingredient?
Well, the answer seems to lie in what our source material calls the belief gap. It's this critical space between just wanting something and having a deep, unshakable conviction that you will make it happen. And here's the crucial distinction our source points out. Look, the world is absolutely full of ambitious people, but only a tiny, tiny fraction of them genuinely believe, like in their bones, that they will succeed. It's not a hope, it's not a wish, it's a foundational certainty. And that, right there, is the key differentiator. Okay, so if belief is the key, what does that actually look like in practice? Well, it all comes down to a specific mindset, an attitude that completely shapes how you approach every single day. It's this I'm going to the top attitude. And listen, this is not about being arrogant, not at all. It's about having this quiet, powerful, non-negotiable belief in your destination. It's like an internal compass that is always, always pointing up, no matter what obstacles get in your way. Think of it this way. This substantial belief, it acts like an engine. Ambition might be the fuel you put in the tank, but without the engine of belief, that car is going nowhere. This deep-seated conviction is what actually propels you forward, gives you the energy, and pushes you to take the actions you need to take to get to the top. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I build this kind of belief? It can't just appear out of nowhere. And that's a fair question. The source material actually gives us a really practical method. You build belief by actively studying people who have already made it. Here's how that works. So here are 3 actionable steps. People with that to-the-top attitude don't just work hard, they learn smart. First, they watch and study how successful people tackle problems. Second, they analyze their decision-making process. And third, they just observe their attitudes. See, belief isn't some kind of magic. It's something you can actually build by seeing how success really works. Now, to make this crystal clear, let's look at a really powerful example from our source. It's a story about how this kind of conviction holds up, especially when everyone around you is telling you you're wrong. So the story is about a young woman who, about 2 years ago, decided on a very specific goal. She was going to start her own sales agency to sell mobile homes, a really clear, ambitious plan. But here's what happened. When she started sharing her plan, the feedback she got was just overwhelmingly negative. I mean, person after person advised her against it. They told her she shouldn't do it, and even worse, that she couldn't do it. And this is the kind of external doubt that derails most people, right? And this is where belief makes all the difference. Despite that whole chorus of you can't, she didn't waver, not for a second. Her internal conviction was just stronger than all of their external doubt. She trusted her own belief and decided, I'm doing it anyway. That right there is conviction in action. That story perfectly sets up the single most important takeaway from all of this. It's a principle that kind of flips the way we usually think about success completely on its head. Here is the core idea. So many of us get stuck, right? We're waiting for the perfect plan, for the how-to guide to fall into our laps. But what the source argues is that the how-to isn't the first step. The mechanics, the strategy, the opportunities, all of that stuff starts to show up after you fully commit to the belief that you can do it. Let's be really clear about this. We often think of belief as something you get as a reward after you succeed. But this reframes it entirely. Belief is the prerequisite. It's the starting point. It's the cause, not the effect. It is the very first step on the path to the top. And that leaves us with one final thought for you. Think about your own goals for a second. Is there one where you feel kind of